Hello and welcome to Reboot Theater. I'm your host, the Invisible Man, and I am really excited because today we are reviewing the one, the only, the Terminator! Oh yes, this is a cool movie! Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a badass robot sent from the future to kill Sarah Connor, that way her son will never be born to lead the human resistance against an evil robotic overlord. It made more sense in the 80s. So let's jump right in. This is the timeless classic, The Terminator. Oh yeah, I'm getting pumped already!
Nice night for a walk, eh?
Nice night for a walk.
Oh, that's weird. I know it's been a while since I watched this, but Bill Paxton looks really different than I remember him.
Your clothes. Give them to me. Now.
Oh boy, here it comes! Arnie's gonna rip the dude's heart out of his chest!
You won't be needing any clothes.
Huh?
I've been waiting for you.
I'm sorry, I really don't remember this part of the movie. I feel like I would definitely remember Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting his older self. That's the kind of awesomeness you don't easily forget. Oh, the Terminator's dead. The end? I could have sworn there was more to it than that. Hey, hang on. Did I read the right movie? Oh, that explains it. Ah, yes, the Terminator franchise. When it's great, it's amazing! But when it's not so great, it's the polar opposite. There is no middle ground with these movies. They're either total masterpieces or toilet paper Klingons. Starting with the original film, the first Terminator was meant to be a one-and-done type movie. It had a very simple plot, loads of violence, and a lot of effects that really didn't hold up. But surprisingly, this low-budget 80s film would become one of the greatest and most fondly remembered movies in history. So good, in fact, in 2008 the Library of Congress deemed the film culturally significant and placed the movie in the National Film Registry for preservation. Yes, it is that good. The movie became so popular, it spawned an even more successful sequel, with a better script, a child actor who can actually act, a tough-as-nails Sarah Connor, and 2 Terminators battling head-to-head! Now we're up in the ante! But then T3 happened, and I'm not even gonna go there. Just know that T3 is stupid, and T4 is every Michael Bay movie ever. But, out of all the cheap knockoffs, there is one that stands above the rest as the true pinnacle of terrible sequels. Oh my god, this is terrible! It's just awful! I can't even describe how bad it is! Let's take a look at Terminator Genisys. The movie begins with Kyle Reese narrating the events of Judgment Day. And they actually made a film from 1991 look superior. I mean, really, guys? When T2 did this scene, it shows Sarah Connor being burned alive until she was nothing but bone. It was so much more intense because you actually saw people dying. The weight of the whole thing was so much greater because you saw innocent civilians turn to ash. But here? Oh look, a train blew up. Oh no, a building collapsed. Oh dear, the Golden Gate Bridge was destroyed. Destroying the whole world is terrible, sure, but all those things are replaceable. Human lives cannot be replaced! The graphic murder of human beings will always resonate with the audience more! So Reese explains how Skynet, a corrupt AI, tried to destroy the human race out of self-preservation. First it launched all the world's nukes, killing 3 billion people instantly, and then it built an army of killing machines to wipe out the survivors. Right before he's about to be killed, Kyle is saved from the Terminator by none other than the human resistance leader himself, John Connor. So Connor trains Reese to become a soldier, and he eventually becomes his right-hand man in the resistance. Huh, so here Jai Courtney is a valuable member of a kill squad. That's a new one. So John leads his team into battle like they're some sort of suicide squad, and of course they find Skynet very difficult to defeat.
Skynet's central core is down. Repeat, Skynet has been destroyed.
Oh, really? Because we're only 10 minutes into the movie here. Wow, you really get to the point, don't you? Imagine if other films did that. Like, what if right after Steve Rogers became Captain America, they just glanced over the war in 10 seconds and showed him waking up in the present day? Hey there, Cap. Sorry about the time crunch, but we really wanted to skip ahead to the good stuff. Now, how do you feel about 50-year-old fanboys?
It's an honor to meet you. Officially. I sort of met you. I mean, I watched you while you were sleeping. I mean, I was present while you were unconscious from the ice. You know, it's just a huge honor to have you on board.
But of course, in keeping with the first film, Skynet sends a Terminator back to 1984 to kill John Connor's mother, Sarah Connor. That way, John Connor will never be born, and he will never lead the resistance to victory against Skynet. Kyle Reese volunteers to travel back in time and protect Sarah, and unbeknownst to him, he will become John's father. But as he's leaving, something strange happens.
You didn't think it would be that easy, did you?
Kinda. I've seen the original, I know what's gonna happen.
No way! Genisys will auto-update as soon as it comes online.
Straight line.
Remember, Genisys is Skynet. When Genisys comes online, Judgment Day begins. You can kill Skynet before it's born.
Your guess is as good as mine here. I have no idea why he sees this now. I get that the timeline is changing and that's why he remembers new things, but how? If Skynet did something that changed the present, how would that affect Kyle's past and give him these new memories? And if the timeline changes here and now because John would eventually go back to the past, why doesn't it change instantly as soon as Arnold is sent back? Shouldn't the ripple effect be immediate? They shouldn't have any time to send Reese back. And here's the biggest pet peeve I have with this movie. It breaks its own rules time and time again. First of all, what timeline is this? Is it timeline 0 or timeline 3? And I actually made a whole separate video detailing these timelines because it gets pretty complex. Only the first movie had a theme of predestination. All the others showed that you can change the future if you go back in time and change history. John mentions that Sarah told him he would one day lead the human resistance against the machines, which is how he knew Skynet would send back a Terminator to 1984 to kill Sarah. But the only way she would know that is if Kyle Reese already went back and told her about all of this. That means this is timeline 3, and the original Reese from timeline 0 already went back. So if Arnold and Reese go back in this timeline, there should really be 2 of each one. The originals from the first movie, and the new ones from this movie. But for the sake of argument, let's assume that the predestination loop applies here, and these 2 are the only time travelers there. Let's just ignore that for a second and focus on this. How is it possible there's a physical form of Skynet there? Where did he come from? According to the filmmakers, this is a T-5000 who came from a different timeline to change history and ensure Skynet would win the war. But Skynet is already dead! They just destroyed the damn thing! How could this be Skynet if the humans just destroyed it? How could it have traveled back from a different timeline? It's just... ugh! So, now that we've removed all logic from this movie whatsoever, Reese arrives in 1984 to protect Sarah Connor from the T-800. But as you saw in the opening, this time Arnold gets destroyed by an older T-800. We'll come back to him in a minute. Then Reese steals a homeless guy's pants and has a run-in with the cops, just like before. Except this time...
What day is it? What year?
May 12th, 1984. The day you arrived.
What is going on here? This was just a human cop originally. Why is there now a T-1000 in his place? Well, apparently someone else sent back this robot to 1984 and also sent back another T-1000 to 1973 to kill Sarah Connor in her youth. Both of which came from, you guessed it, a different timeline. Which one? Who cares, right? It's not like science fiction geeks actually care about science. So no, we never find out who sent back these Terminators. All we know is the Resistance programmed a T-800, nicknamed Pops, and sent him back to protect young Sarah. Now his living tissue has started to age, which is why he appears older than the other Terminators.
The flesh they put on the cyborgs is normal human tissue. It ages.
Alright, that is a very creative way of explaining why Arnold looks older now. Because even though he's a robot, his human flesh still wears out. However, the fact that Reese is here makes no sense. They explain that Reese remembers two different timelines because he was in the quantum flux, magnets, shabalama ding dong, science babble. And because he was in the process of traveling back at the time history was changed, he still exists, and so do his original memories. But the new memories he has about Genisys, we'll revisit that in a minute, are from the new timeline created by other time travelers, which is the timeline he actually lands in. But if that's the case, and the original 1984 timeline no longer exists, what is young Arnold doing there? If young Arnold was sent back to the original timeline, and then Pops went back and changed the timeline again, that entire timeline, and everyone in it, no longer exists. So, Reese would have landed in the alternate 1984, but young Arnold wouldn't be there because he was sent back to the old timeline. And before you say, well, maybe the Skynet of this future sent back this Arnold. That's impossible. If Reese is greeted by a T-1000, that means Skynet already perfected the more advanced version of the Terminator and sent back this version to kill Reese. So why would it also send back a less advanced model? That's like owning a food processor and still using a cutting board and a knife. Wouldn't you use the best available technology? So Reese gets pursued by the T-1000, who disguises himself as a mirror. I'll give you a point for that. That's pretty creative. Then, just as he's about to be killed, Sarah Connor bursts in.
Come with me if you want to live.
Oh dear. First, let me say, I love Emilia Clarke on Game of Thrones. She is by far my favorite character on that show.
Dracarys.
But here, oh no.
You were sent to protect me by John Connor, the leader of the Resistance.
This is just not her role. This is just sad. First of all, she keeps slipping in and out of her British accent every 5 seconds.
I don't understand. You can't know any of this.
But I do.
I do have dragons and sorry, I'm an American character. On top of that, was she even trying? I mean, wow, this is bad acting.
Why did you not tell Carl Reese the truth?
I will tell him. Just not yet, okay?
I will tell him that I myself am a Terminator. That is why I have no range of emotion to speak of. I actually think Lena Headey did a better Sarah Connor than this. You've gotta suck pretty hard to make me side with Cersei Lannister over the mother of frickin' dragons. But somehow you did it. Amelia, I know you're better than this. What happened?
I need answers, all right? Right now.
Like who greenlit this shit? But as they try to make a getaway, the T-1000 follows them and they attempt to destroy him with acid. Well, that won't work. He'll just melt through your hand. He'll just melt through your hand. He'll melt through your hand. Anytime now. Wow, that was ridiculously stupid. Why didn't he just turn into liquid metal and escape Pop's grip? I tell ya, Robert Patrick would have survived that. He was so much better. So Sarah and Pop salvage the T-800 remains and use his chip to complete a time machine. What? Let's just ignore that you somehow salvaged enough future technology to even build this thing. How in the name of all engineering did you know how to put it together? Was Pops programmed with the blueprints? And if so, why? There's no reason for Skynet to program him with this knowledge. And if the humans programmed him with it, and they know how to build time machines, why didn't they build one in the future and send back more soldiers to prevent Skynet from ever being born? Just so much is wrong with this. Sarah insists they travel to 1997 because that's when Skynet first becomes self-aware. But Reese insists he has new memories of the altered timeline, and he convinces Sarah to go to 2017 instead.
So we just pretend like it never happened?
Well, it hasn't. Not yet.
At this point, I just don't care anymore. Do whatever you want. They arrive in 2017 in the middle of a highway. Great location scouting. Do you mind? We're trying to conceive Jesus here. Meanwhile, Pops takes the long way home and waits 33 years in real time since he can't time travel.
Hey, asshole! Get out the road!
Bite me.
Oh, come on! It was right there!
Hey, asshole! Get out the road!
You asshole.
They get apprehended and taken to a hospital, but a familiar face comes by to bust them out.
It's good to see you, Kyle.
You're alive.
I know what you're thinking. How did John travel back to this alternate timeline? I would tell you, but instead, just use your imagination. Disclaimer, I have absolutely no idea. The movie never tells us. Really. John escorts them to the parking ramp, but then Pops shoots him.
Goddamn time-traveling robots covering up their goddamn tracks. Knew it.
Yeah, I have nothing to say to that. That's just a great line everyone should hear. It's then revealed why Pop shot John. It's revealed that he's now a Terminator himself.
Skynet realized the one reason it always lost. Me.
And also sending back just one robot instead of an army of them. That may have had something to do with it. So John threatens to kill his own parents. Sorry, this script has a gigantic typo. I know that can't be it. What happens next?
You can't kill us. We're your parents. Without us, you're never born.
Says who?
Says who?
Says who?
And the award for dumbest question in film history goes to... John Connor! Wow. I mean, I've heard some nonsensical lines in my day, but that definitely takes the cake. If you kill your parents, you won't be born. Says who? Says anyone with a brainstem, you stupid ape! No, I'm sorry. That's offensive to apes. I bet even they have more sense than this. I can't believe this! I can't believe we have reached the point where the writing has degraded to complete mush. I mean, wow. Just wow. You are the weakest link, sir. Goodbye. This movie has no logic left. None. Zip. Nada. Zilcho. This isn't just lazy writing. This is just not giving a crap. Tell me, do you remember the plot of the original? Skynet sent back a Terminator to kill John's mother so he would never be born. But by this movie's logic, none of that matters now! Even if Skynet had succeeded, John still would have existed somehow! How could anyone make sense of this? Somebody, somewhere, got paid to write this nonsense. And then someone else said, yeah, okay, we'll make this into a feature-length film. That means at least 2 people read this script and didn't immediately burn it in the trash. So they say no to John's offer to join them, and Pops attacks him. MC Max! Way more interesting than anything in this film! Yeah! They trap John using an MRI scanner, and the trio makes their getaway. The next day, it's revealed that John was sent back in time to work with Miles Dyson to build Skynet, as well as develop time travel and the polymimetic alloy for the T-1000s.
Don't worry. I won't let them hurt you.
You did it. You made John Connor the villain, which is exactly what everyone wanted to see. Then the group heads to a bunker where they stockpiled weapons. Okay, why does every Jai Courtney movie need a pointless detour from the plot? I'm looking at you, Suicide Squad! Luckily, it doesn't last long, as John finds them in the bunker and delivers a blasphemous line.
I can't be bargained with. Can't be reasoned with. I don't feel pity or remorse or fear. And I absolutely will not stop ever until Skynet rules this world.
Oh, go to hell.
Rule this.
Burned alive. Close enough. Then they conveniently steal a convenient school bus that someone conveniently left laying around. How convenient! But John cuts the brakes and it turns into Crazy Taxi. Alright, let's go make some crazy money. We're going on a Gold Gate version now. Whoa, look out, I'm merging. My turn signal's out. Oh well, whee! You know, it's been a while since I got my license renewed. Can't you tell? YOLO, bitches! Well, this is your stop, Pops.
Nice to see you. Get out.
How is it even possible that Terminator has the lowest body count here? So they evade John, but they get arrested for reenacting the opening scene of Deadpool.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do?
No, you are not T2. You'll never be T2! So they get questioned, but not for long, as John shows up in the police station to kill them. Wow, really original! But it's okay, because they get to the chopper in time to escape. From there, we get a brief chase scene, and for the first time, a callback that is either really cool or really lame, but I'm not sure which.
I'll be back.
What?
They make it to Cyberdyne and are greeted by John, who accelerates the countdown to Skynet's creation.
There aren't enough bullets in the world to kill me.
John Connor talks too much.
I will say this, while the rest of the film is crap, Arnold Schwarzenegger has still got it.
I'm old, not obsolete.
They prepare to blow the place sky high, but John shows up and battles Pops in hand to hand. To destroy him once and for all, they put John in the unfinished time machine and rip him apart. Pops sacrifices himself to destroy John and blows the whole building up, destroying Skynet. And of course, Sarah is sad after losing her father figure. Oh gee, I wonder if they'll bring him back. Oh look, he's back! He fell into a vat of polyalloy during the fight, and now he's a TX. Then the group travels to Reese's childhood home to give his younger self the message that Genisys is Skynet.
A friend of mine really needs to talk to you, if that's okay.
I'm not a Khaleesi, really! I'm an American!
Remember, Genisys is Skynet.
And so the movie ends with Kyle and Sarah falling in love, and the series is officially rebooted for a whole new trilogy of films. Oh thank God, I don't think I'm gonna take it any more of this. Ugh. Genisys is Genisys. What even is this movie? It has more plot holes than Swiss cheese! The timeline makes no sense. They leave it way too open-ended. They made the hero of the story the villain of the story, and with the exception of Schwarzenegger, the main cast in this is terrible! I really expected more from Emilia Clarke, but she did not deliver! She just couldn't do a convincing American accent.
But I do.
Okay, Madonna, we get it. You're not really American. I'm just so glad the planned sequels to this movie were canceled. In 2019, the rights to Terminator go back to James Cameron, and it's about damn time. He's planning to erase everything after T2 from the official canon, make an alternate sequel to that movie, and most importantly of all, Linda Hamilton is going to play Sarah again! Finally! It's gonna be so nice to see her on the big screen again. Most of all, this feels like a pander film. Something that was made exclusively for the fans of the original and no one else. Sound familiar? You can just point to every reference in every past movie this one was imitating.
Come with me if you want to live.
And more than that, they expect the audience to already be up to speed on the original films. Because if you haven't seen the originals, you will be completely lost. They make countless references to past films, which is fine if you've seen those other films, but if not, you won't have a clue what's going on! Guys, in case you forgot, the first Terminator came out 31 years ago. That means there are bound to be people in the audience that haven't seen the originals. Some of us weren't even born yet when they came out. And rather than explaining yourselves and trying to attract a new audience, you're just scaring potential fans away when you make a story this convoluted. Let's just hope James Cameron's new version is the movie we were hoping to see. I'm the Invisible Man, and when there's a craptastic sequel, I got it covered.